Welcome to another video, guys. Today's video is gonna be a response to Dean Ayala's tweet asking how to make Hearthstone better and help return players to the game. I actually made a video about this exactly 1 year ago, and the ideas from there are more than relevant today as well. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you wish to show your support to the channel and what I do, a like and a subscribe would be really appreciated. Now, let's get into the video. The first suggestion, which I think will have the most impact on actually returning players to the game and stopping others from leaving it, is implementing a ban system. One of the main reasons people leave Hearthstone in the first place is their frustration with a certain deck. And we all know how Hearthstone loves to keep on queuing you against that same exact deck over and over and over again. Over the years, there have been so many metas where there is that one deck that everybody loves to hate. Just an example would be Control Warriors, Rest Priests, Shudderwalk Shamans, Aggro Demon Hunters, and now Tempo Spell Mages. Giving the player some control over the matchups he can be getting would definitely increase the enjoyment of Hearthstone. Some people would say that that would make the climbing easier, but is that really a bad thing? I mean, we will all have the same advantage, and in the end of the day, reaching Legend is not where the game actually ends. Honestly, it's where it begins. Climbing to top 1000 is a great achievement afterwards, and climbing to top 100 is also pretty amazing. So I really don't see a downside to letting people ban a class in their matchups. It will bring a new layer to strategy even before the game starts. It will enable more decks to be viable, and more people will actually have fun, not having to scream in a pillow every time you queue into a priest, for instance. It's definitely an idea worth trying out, and giving it a 1-month implementation time to see how it goes would definitely be worth a shot. Another idea that can prevent people from leaving, and also maybe return some players, would be if the game wasn't decided so many times by crazy RNG cards. It is really disappointing to see Tavern Brawl cards like Puzzle Box being shoved in competitive Hearthstone, and that really lowers the quality of the game from a competitive standpoint. The fact that an RNG card like that can actually decide the whole game without any skill being involved into playing it feels pretty lame, and it's really not fair cards like that deciding tournaments and people's lives. It's a fun card without a doubt, but really, cards like that don't really have place in the competitive scene. The amount of times where games are decided by a huge amount of discovered cards is also too damn high, and it makes the game feel a lot more like it's based on luck rather than on skill. Right now, Mage is the most showing class, with the combo with Sorcerer's Apprentice, Evocation, and Mana Cyclone, and it really does feel like a casino with those guys. I guess it wouldn't have been that big of a deal if they just discovered so much, but them being able to play most of those spells for free afterwards is just too much. Sorcerer's Apprentice has been in the game since day one, and for far too long she has been like this, so I think it's time she gets the Kael'thas treatment. It's fine that she discounts spells, but bringing him down below 1 is just too much. I guess what I'm trying to say is that Hearthstone needs to stop printing fun RNG cards into the competitive scene and leave them for the Tavern Brawl. The next idea is also something I talked about in the past. Give people a trial period to test the cards that they have crafted. I'm not talking about letting people play them in ranked mode, but let them use those newly crafted cards in casual mode so they can see if they actually like the cards, and if it's too much for you, you can even remove the 10 measly gold they're gonna be getting from free wins. You do realize how hard it is to earn dust in the game, right? Well, imagine spending all of your hard-earned dust on a deck that you thought you're gonna like but actually hate. You can be sure if that happens to a free-to-play player, you won't be seeing them again. Honestly, that almost happened to me as well. After my 3rd month in the game, I actually dusted everything I could and went all out on a single deck, which thankfully turned out something I liked. If that wasn't the case, honestly, I would have been long gone. So yeah, giving people a place where they can actually playtest those powerful cards they dreamed of and actually see if they want to really invest into them should make a very good impact on the game. After all, Hearthstone is about having fun, but also about brag rights. So naturally, people will want to bring those good cards after that into ranked as well. But at least it would be an educated and tested decision. Which brings me to the next point. The game feels too expensive and the resource gain is far too slow. I guess the new Battle Pass might address some of these issues, but you have to agree it feels pretty lame having to disenchant our cards for 1/4 or 1/5 of their crafting value. Bumping those numbers in favor of the players would definitely make the game feel fresh for longer for most. Yeah, we get it, you guys need some people to pay for some packs in the end of the day, but you have to understand that if a free-to-play player is presented with the choice to pay to have more fun or to quit the game, 9 times out of 10, they will pick the latter. On the other hand, a paying player will keep on paying even after he has a ton of resources. Heck, at one point I had 100,000 dust on the button, and I still buy every pre-purchase and bundle that's worth buying, and I hear so many people do the same from my stream as well. On the other hand, there are tons of people that refuse to pay for pretty colors and end up just quitting, just because the progression is too slow. Right now, the arena is the only real place where you can farm a lot of resources, but a lot of people don't like playing that format, and it's pretty counterintuitive playing the format that doesn't need packs or dust, so you can actually earn packs and dust. Also, getting only 10 gold per free wins is just absurdly low, since you can only get 20 gold per hour if you're winning like mad with a fast deck. And rerolling 50 gold quests into 50 gold quests doesn't feel amazing either, so we definitely need a change in a positive direction in this section. And finally, I talked about that Hearthstone needs to implement an achievement system. And the game will actually implement that soon, which is pretty awesome. So that's a great way to make new and old players actually get excited about the game again, as long as it has been done correctly. I hope we also see some rewards in that section, because that will also help about the affordability of the game, but I guess we will soon find out. So these are my ideas on how to make Hearthstone better. Drop a comment below and tell me what ideas you guys have and we can discuss. A like and a subscribe would really be appreciated. Thanks for watching, I'm Chris05 and I'll see you in my next video or stream.